Oh, wow. Just as soon as I hit record, I got a cramp in my stomach. um, well, Mig Toes, it looks like I made it through surgery, and wow, quite a painful experience. A surprise. I guess I shouldn't be surprised because they cut out my friggin' entire rectum and sphincter and the the sideways colon and the descending colon. They removed it all, and now I've got a colostomy bag, and I'll tell you, it's pretty freaking great, actually. Before, pardon me, I can't even cough hardly. Before, I was in a situation where I really couldn't take a dump at all, hardly at all. I mean, it was really hard, and the crap was backing up. I was really full of shit, and it was backing up, and it was always fighting itself and cramping, and I would hear bubbling and gurgling, and because it all turned liquid trying to get past the restriction, right? And it was a nasty business. But now, man, the pain is still really serious. But I have been discharged from the hospital, and I've got a bunch of these absorbent pads. They're sort of like diapers, and you put the things on, and when they cut out your rectum, right? They install this drain tube, right, so that so that the material that is being kicked out by your system as the healing occurs, like the wreckage and the smashed up things that are being discarded and released, that stuff is going down that tube and out. And if I stand up and I'm not wearing a diaper, I get a bunch of drippage all over the floor. And man, sorry guys, that's pretty darn gross. So in any case, now, geez, it is so much better as far as, I mean, I have a lot of inflammation because of the healing process, but I'm actually able to crap again. And even if I'm crapping in a bag, guys, it is so nice to be able to crap, because I mean, before it was just really bad, and now I'm basically just this top intestine here is basically, it comes up from the bottom, and then it goes across the side, and then it used to go down, but instead they cut it, and I think it went down a ways, but then they bent it and stuck it out, right? And they put the colostomy bag kind of high up because I'm a guy, right? And I wear my pants at the normal height, right around my hips. And this way the bag doesn't interfere with my pants. I mean, it basically, I just cleaned it. I basically just washed it out and cleaned it. So I guess I could show it to you. Basically, right along here, we've got a ton of metal staples. So obviously I can't get a PET scan until the staples are out, because I believe it's a magnetic sensor as well. And if it does, like a CT scan, and if so, those staples could really become projectiles pretty quick, and that is a scary thought. But anyway, I get those out, I believe, on Thursday, and then they pulled this thing out, my intestines out, and then flipped it inside out, and then sewed it around the outside, and this is what they call a stoma. And then you got the bag right here, which I just washed out, but apparently it's oozing a little bit. But I am able to crap now. Thank goodness I'm able to crap. they're not much of craps, right? You know, those of you with actual working rectums have normal sized craps, right? I no longer have a rectum, so it's just the way it flows through the intestine, that's the way it comes out. And it comes out usually in the form of something that looks about half the size of a cat turd. It's thicker, basically, it's like a ½ inch thick by about 2 inches long. And then they just pop out, and since they're maybe 2 inches, maybe 1.5 inches, sometimes only maybe an inch, you know, and it's like one of those really small ones. And then it pops out of the stoma, and then it just drops right down into the bag, and no problems, you know. And man, as I'm healing, I am so much better than I was the last couple of days. I can actually get up on my feet by myself. Before, I had to get a lot of help, like a nurse or something, or an intern, and they really had to pull to get my torso up. But then once my torso is vertical, then I can stand up. But then I'm sitting on the wound, you know, that where my sphincter used to be, and that's painful as can be. And it's, but that's healing up too. And I've heard good things about this situation where people have said that it's actually easier to sit for a long period of time after you've had one of these operations. And, you know, it's easier to sit for a long period of time without getting sore. And if that's the case, well, that's a nice little bonus. But man, I don't, even with all the inflammation, and I think there's a little bit of gas trapped in my body somewhere. But as I heal, those things will go away, right? So so basically, as it goes away, I'll get like slimmer and everything, and I'll start feeling even better. And dudes, modern technology. I mean, it's not super modern, but it is so freaking awesome that I'm no longer so backed up. God, that was bad, dudes. I didn't really understand how bad it was until it was gone. But even now, I've got a lot of inflammation and whatnot. And this is kind of a poor camera angle. I'm not actually this portly. In fact, I've probably lost some weight over the last few days, because they feed you like maybe a bowl of soup and some Jello and some mango juice, and jeez. So anyway, Uber Eats has a bunch of really nice looking organic restaurants, and I ordered from one the other day, and basically I think that's going to be some of my diet, or pretty much most of my diet, until I can get mobile again and go get some groceries. And then I will then I'll basically start eating some things that I bought at the store. So I'm going to go find a some kind of organic grocery store, probably take an Uber there. I'll probably go for a lot of fruit and greens and that sort of thing. So in any case, and then on Thursday I go in and get my stitches or my staples out, and then I'm also going to attempt to get a PET scan scheduled for when the staples are out, and then maybe I might be able to get them to address the liver. The local hospital here has the technique where they poke this really hot poker into your liver, into the tumors, and then cook them, right? And then it really knocks them down. And so basically, I would like to go get a PET scan. It's like $1,000. Then I'll go see if I can get that liver, what they call liver ablation, I believe it's called. And if I'm able to travel after that by day 20, fine. If not, I'll just extend my time here in the hotel, abandon my plane ticket, and stay here long enough to get the liver ablation, and then it's party time. I'll go home and get the bumper on my camper fixed, and then start my, then go, run around and see a few things. Like go to that, that permaculture place, and see how they did on that earth sheltered greenhouse that I'm so impressed with. And then I probably might take off south, or I might go back and grab my dad. He's an Air Force retiree, and then I might just throw him in the camper, and then take off to the Air Force Museum, which is like somewhere in the middle of the country, right around the Great Lakes and whatnot. So, and he is not a perfect driver these days, but he can certainly handle driving on the freeway. So, and he loves to drive so much. Hey, I'll let him do it. And basically, he can be driving and be happy as can be, and I can be on my smartphone arguing with feminists. Good times. Well, that's about it, guys. I'm just going to concentrate on healing, and I'm starting to get the yawns, so I think I might just scoot back and crash. As you can see. And now that I'm back in the hotel, it's like more of my comfort zone than the hospital was, Plus, the hospital kept the freaking rooms so cold, man. And then, and the mattresses kind of sucked because they're solid, right? I mean, they're a mattress, but they're covered with vinyl so that they could be cleaned easily and be sanitary. But then they put a mattress pad, and then a sheet on it. And what's going to happen when that happens? You're basically going to be in a situation where your sweat it's like an air mattress, like one of those inflatable household for guests air mattresses. And you lay on that thing and your sweat doesn't evaporate, and you end up just laying in a puddle of sweat. And basically not my favorite. What they should have is some kind of like little mattress pad that has a billion little holes on it, and a little air pump that pumps air through it that will cause ventilation so that the patient remains comfortable. But the way it was just sweat city. And if I had blankets on with the air conditioner, and then they turned the air conditioner off at night, right? And then I just woke up in a freaking lake of sweat. Never got to sleep again after, that night. So basically, it is definitely a Mexican hospital. And, well, the price was sure right. And it's an old procedure that it's well known. It's not like it's cutting edge. So basically, and when they brought me in, basically they just put me up on the operating table and put me on my side and gave me a spinal injection of some kind, and for the pain, then stuck something in my IV, and I was out. And boy, my right arm, I mean, it must have just been hanging limp off of the side of the operating table while they were working, because my right shoulder was wrenched pretty hard for the last few days. And geez, I almost needed as much painkillers for that as for the freaking operation. So anyway, I've got a bunch of staples, as I said, down here. I won't show them to you because they're covered, but I've got probably at least 10 or 12 or 15, maybe 15. So today's Monday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, then Thursday, then I'll get the staples out. But I am so looking forward to getting, to recovering from this and being able to walk around and whatnot easily. As you can see, well, you can't see it, but as you can see now, the hotel loaned me a wheelchair. So I was able to, so they actually hauled me out of the wheelchair. I mean, out of the hospital on the wheelchair. And then the hotel had another wheelchair, and they wheeled me right into my room. And then I punched up Uber Eats and chowed down because they've been starving me for freaking days. and now, and it's not like fasting. I mean, I can fast, but then when they give you a little bit of sort of carby food, you really start feeling hungry. So, MGTOWs, that's about all I got for you. I think, yeah, that's about it. And don't get married.